Welcome back to Calder Park. Well, the boys are doing their bit to support Red Nose Day next Friday. Here's a couple of the guys from Glenn Seaton's Ford Credit Racing team. Scotty there displaying the red nose. And Sid's Day is next Friday, the 26th. Baz, let's check out this small but very fast Calder Park circuit.
Yeah, it's really quick. The main straight, just nearly 260 kilometres an hour. If it happens to rain here, you see number 6 there, turn 6, onto the main straight is going to be absolute purgatory because they have drag racing here and it's very, very slippery. Other than that, it's not a bad little track. Good place for passing is turn 1 there, and it gets a bit tight. So on the first lap of the race, have a good look at the entry and exit of that.
Time for the grid, and for the 14th time in his Shell Australian Touring Car career, Mark Skaife starts from the number 1 posse. His teammate Craig Lowndes right alongside. Jason Bright, an excellent effort, the top Ford driver here today in qualifying, and Neil Crompton, an excellent 4th.
Out-qualifying the boss, that's not a good move for long-term employment. Glenn Seaton right behind him. Russell Ingall, he's 6th, that's the most he could get out of those Dunlops yesterday. John Faulkner and Jason Bargwan, a good run in 8th. John Bow was struggling on the Dunlop tyres back in 9th, and Murphy in the new VT Commodore in the top 10. Garth Tander, his best qualifying effort in 11th, and Larkham in 12th. Out of 13, Larry Perkins debuting the new VT Commodore. Good effort that. Stephen Johnson, the Racing for Life Ford, alongside him. 15, Tony Longhurst in the Castrol Ford, and Paul Romano.
Nick Johnson struggling with some setup problems. We'll see how he goes in the race. He's just ahead of Steve Ellery in 17th. Alan Jones back in 19th, and Mark Poole rounds out the 20.
Plenty back here. Thomas Mazira, Darren Payton, the Wins Commodores, Anthony Tratt and Rod Nash at a 24.
Back to Rose. Croswell returns in the Ericsson Trust Bank. Courtley and Smurden.
29, Ray Hislop from Tasmania, Trevor Ashby, Simon Ermazidis and Darcy Russell out of 32. Last spot on the grid.
It's a full grid of 32, the HRT front row. Let's see if Mark Skaife can get away to a good start. That's at the back of the grid, the green flag. Let's look to the front. Will Lowndes get another lightning start? Set, away we go! They get away to a good one. On the outside, it's Craig Lowndes, and through the middle, Glenn Seaton.
Oh, look at Jason Bright!
Right
on the right-hand side.
Lowndes away to a beauty. Bright on the inside, so too did Russell Ingall. He got a blind, and now Skaife tries to force his way back. But it's Jason Bright that will get the run through into second spot. Skaife should be able to squeeze in there to third, and around the outside it's Ingall.
Look at this big pack trying to shuffle through turn 1. Russell Ingall said after qualifying yesterday he wanted to be up 3 or 4 off the grid, but he made up 2. Oh, they got pandemonium. Mazira's in there.
Flag. They'll have to. Oh, Jonesy right there.
One of the Shell Fords in there too. We can't see which one it is, but it happens so often on these openings.
Somebody stopped there too, Anthony Tratt.
Oh, they'll have to stop it, I'm sure.
Oh no, they're all.
Oh, they're all got.
Yeah, they're all still mobile. Dick Johnson gets back, but Alan Jones and Mazira is still stuck there. Hopefully he can get that going too. But right at the front, Craig Lowndes continuing that amazing starts in this mobile Commodore. He absolutely shot off the line, left the pole position man Mark Skaife behind him, and then Skaife back in the back trying to pick up ground as they come flashing past the straight for the first time. 250 kilometres an hour, braking hard for turn 1, about 150 metres out. Jason Bright in second position.
Well, he's doing a good job. Skaife sits there back in third. Then we go back to Ingall in 4th. Bargwana has shot up into the top 5. Here's a replay. Now watch middle of your screen further back in the pack where Dick Johnson is there. Now Johnson...
Oh, look at the lockup.
That was Mazira that went off.
Mazira.
Jones did evasive action as Mazira cleans up one of the signs, and Dick just got caught in the middle there.
What a traffic jam.
Not as much crunching as we thought initially.
That's AJ, but it all locked up trying to avoid the carnage. Yeah, it did look like Thomas locked it up to start with, but it's hard to say when you get such bedlam as that.
Oh, well, the cars are so close, he could have been tapped or anything. Anyway, they've sorted themselves out, fortunately.
Great for Jason Bright, though. That's a really good run for him. He's always qualified well, Mark, hasn't he? But it's so nice for him to be up there.
Look at Lowndes. This is typical Lowndes. He's clobbering him. 2.02 seconds. He's opened up the gap on the rest of the pack. Using the speed, the dominance of these Holden Racing Team Commodores and Calder. This is their home test track. We always expected they'd be very fast around here, and there's no doubt about it. This is a Bridgestone circuit.
Tight battle for second and third. It's Jason Bright, the Pertec Ford. Mark Skaife in number 50, Mobile 1 HRT Commodore. Ingall is right in there. He would be rapt to be sitting there in 4th at the moment, mind you. He was happy enough to qualify 6th under the circumstances. They've had problems in setting up the car, and with the Dunlop tyres don't run exceptionally well here at Calder, but he's up there inside the top 5 and going well. Bargwana battling it out, but we're watching second and third at the moment. Bright is holding off Skaife.
Yeah, it does look a bit like Bright's holding up Skaife, because Skaife is all over the back of Jason Bright and looking a bit frustrated.
So the order at the moment, Lowndes, Bright, Scape, Ingle, Bargwana in 5th, Seaton, Bow, Crompton back in 8th, Tander in 9th, and Murphy in the new VT Commodore. He's up to 10th position.
I tell you what, if you see the horsepower of Jason Bright's car, it's definitely not off the bottom shelf because he was pulling away from Scape down the straight.
Look at Lowndes bringing it down to last, flying lap across 56.28. Keep in mind the lap record, that belongs to Lowndes from 1996. That's a 56.14. So he's within a tenth of a second of lap record pace. He's absolutely flying in these cold conditions.
Not only is he going well, it's his birthday. It's his 24th birthday today, the kid. So he could celebrate it in fine style. He currently holds an 8-point lead in the championship as we sit with Russell Ingle here, the man who is only 8 points behind Craig Lowndes. They work their way around down. This is on the back part of the circuit.
Well, this is a situation Russell Ingle wanted to avoid after that battle he had with Mark Scafe at Barbagallo Raceway. He didn't want to get stuck in behind the second of the Holden Racing Team Commodores, and he's there now. Shell Helix replay from the back of Jason Bargwana's Commodore. Look at the pack shuffling around. There's the new VT Commodore in the sandwich there. Murphy on the outside. Seaton holding his ground. Boof.
A little bit of a tap there, mate.
So typical of a first corner with these V8 supercars, 32 in all, trying to shuffle through a very narrow bit of tarmac. Look at that.
Oh, look, they've Faulkner up the back.
Crompton.
Well, John Faulkner started in the top 10 in 7th position, and he is not in the top 10 at the moment. So, in fact, he is back in 15th position, so he went backwards big time. As Mark Scafe has, by the looks of it, a big gap there now to Jason Bright, so it's opened up there.
Oh, look at the fire.
Oh, look at the fire.
Looks like they're just maybe rubbing bodywork there with the damage on the rear quarter panel of John Faulkner's better electrical car. That's a shame because John was going very well in qualifying. He was fast here all week, and that will not be the way he wanted to finish heat one. Let's have a look at that on the Shell Helix replay. Looks like whatever damage has occurred has happened previous to that, but you can see flames and smoke belching from that right rear corner.
Popped a big belt from someone there. The two Valvoline Cummins Commodores are going very well. Jason Bargwana is in 5th and Tander is 9th as we watch John Faulkner bring the Fisher & Paykel Better Electrical Commodore back into the pits.
Plenty of smoke in there.
That's a disappointing day, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a great
disappointing start to the day.
So continuing this battle, the second, third and fourth position, Russell Ingle, only 8 points behind our championship leader, Craig Lowndes. That'll be demoralising stuff, watching him disappear off in the distance, but it's stabilised right now. His gap over Jason Bright is 2.9 seconds between our race leader. Lowndes is just on a 56.4, Bryce on a 56.7. So the time's very, very close in this leading quartet, but Lowndes, he's got that buffer now, and he's going to hold that 3-second gap if he can.
Jason Bright, the 25-year-old from Queensland. He lives on the Gold Coast, not far from you, Baz, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting when you watch those three because you've got Jason Bright with the Ford and the Bridgestones, and Scafe with the Bridgestones and the Commodore, and Ingle with the Dunlops and the Commodore. So it's going to be interesting to see as you get 3 parts through to the race, you know, the performance of the cars relative to the tyres. And
Larry Perkins just came through a shot there. He's come from 13th up into 11th position. There's Tony Longhurst, Stephen Johnson, who has unfortunately gone backwards.
Unfortunate for Thomas Mazzera too. He's been taken out of the race with a bent differential housing after that accident. That's a great shame for the Wins team. Thomas just taking Darren Hossack's seat momentarily while they do a bit of sorting on the cars, but Darren will be back in the cars for the long distance races. So Freddie Gibson's boys will be working overtime to get that rear suspension sorted out for Heat 2.
This is the battle for 14th, 15th and 16th. Tony Longhurst in the Castrol 4. Oh, it's him! Around goes Tony. Well, he won't be happy with that. Paul Romano was caught up with an incident at Barbagallo in Perth not long ago with Danny Osborne, and well, unfortunately he's been involved in one again with Longhurst, so
that won't be a good atmosphere in the courtroom because he's got a hearing coming up on Wednesday over that incident at Barbagallo. Now he's been involved in another one. Let's have a look at that on the replay.
oh, dear me. I mean, that's not going to go down very well with his hearing, is it?
Well, it's not going to go down well for Paul either. He's just been given a stop-go penalty. We hear from race control. So immediately dishing out the punishment to the young Queenslander. Tony Longhurst being able to continue, but he would have dropped the positions in that little incident.
Things still steady in the top 10 though. Lowndes, Bright, Scafe, Ingle, Bargwana in 5, Seaton 6. Bow has come from 9th up into 7th. Crompton has gone from 4th back to 8th. Tander is still inside the top 10. That's a great effort for the 20-year-old West Australian who now resides in Victoria. And Greg Murphy in the new VT Commodore sitting in 10th. And the next VT Commodore, or the only other VT out there in Larry Perkins, is right behind him in 11th position.
That's not a bad debut when you think of the minimal amount of testing that both Perkins and the HRT mob have had with the car. They only tested it here last time, first time for last week, so that's not bad going, is it?
Very good. Good effort by Tony Longhurst in qualifying too. He only ended up about 0.4 of a second behind Glenn Seaton in the Ford Credit Falcon, considering they're trying to sort these cars out on this new Dunlop rubber. He's not running the higher grade or the level 1 specification of Dunlop that the Dick Johnson's team's using.
Well, I say it again, it's about time they had a control tyre, and Tiga, Ravesco and or whoever it is, they should really think about it, because they need a control tyre that will give everybody a level playing field, and you know, it takes one of the variables out of it.
Yeah, well, privateers are showing the way. Let's hope that control tyre formula spreads to the whole field by next year. Order now, Lowndes leading by 3.6 seconds over Jason Bright. Scaife just behind him, Ingle, Bargwanna, Seaton. John Bow in 7th position, Crompton, Tander and Murphy.
This is the triple entry from John Bow's Shell Helix Ford. He'd be pleased, well, he won't be overjoyed to be up in 7th spot, but he'd be pleased that he's moved up 2 from his 9th qualifying effort. That will help in the points. This Sky had a disastrous round in WA, to put it mildly. He was very disappointed with that. And slipped from 3rd in the championship to 5th. He's battling his way back, doing the best that he can.
Well, this is the constant argument about this control tyre debate, and here's John Bow running a tyre that's not well suited to the track, and no matter how well he's driving the car or how well set up, he can't be as competitive as someone on Bridgestone. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's the same. It's the Seaton syndrome, isn't it? They've changed the construction of or changed the rules so that you have to run the same tyres all around as against different fronts and rears, and it's made it so that you know, Seaton's struggling to get his car sorted out. It's not right. It would just make so much difference to this series if they had a control tyre.
Neil Crompton hassling the back of John Bow big time. Crompton's just returned from the United States again, where he's been over there assisting, well, actually working for a guy over there setting up a Riley and Scott GT sports car. Ironically, it was the same kind of car that his old teammate Wayne Gardner recently drove at Le Mans 24-hour. It looks like Neil will go back over there to continue that work as well while campaigning the V8. He won't race the next round in the Northern Territory. We'll be back for Oran Park and of course Sandown and the Australia 1000 Classic at Bathurst with Glenn Seaton.
Well, there's no doubt he's driving the car very well. Really feels at the top of his form at the moment. Thoroughly enjoying his motor racing.
Well, at the moment, Craig Lowndes is completely dominating. He's stretched it out to over 4 seconds now. We'll see what will happen on the other side of this break. This is race 1 of 3, round 8 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championships. This is your points leader, the birthday boy Craig Lowndes, and he's got a commanding lead over his teammate Mark Scaife, who has now jumped up into 2nd position on lap 13 of 21. However, he's some 5 seconds behind. There's been a battle going on for those minor placings between Jason Bright, Mark Scaife and Russell Ingall as well. Here is the replay. Amongst traffic, Scaife did a beautiful outside manoeuvre, coming out of the right-hander, through over the back section, through the S's and up into that 2nd spot. Through that traffic, that was an excellent effort by Mark Scaife.
Yeah, what happens when you get stuck in traffic like that? The guy that's that's leading the bunch is the one with all the trouble, because you give the wake-up call, and then people start to get out of the way, and the guy that's behind you has the best opening usually.
That was really threading the needle, wasn't it? Very finely judged. We're back on board with Russell Ingall. He picks his way for the slower traffic. Melrose, some of the privateers there on the... Oh, well, you quite often see this, but the trouble is the privateers are running on that Yokohama control tyre. It's not nearly as fast a tyre as the level 1, so as much as the privateers try and stay out of their way, sometimes they're just really struggling for a grip.
Oh, look, that's a major.
Simon Ermazidis.
Big time.
He's had a big hit.
Wow, he has definitely hit something very hard with that.
But that's got to be the wall, doesn't it?
Yeah, has to be. That is, just look at the amount straight on into the wall. It'd have to be.
Now he's got out on the loose stuff. Oh no, it was
Gary Courtley.
Boy, that's surprising. You would never have believed another car could have done that much damage.
Watch the level impact here. Gets it sideways. Here we come. What was it?
Yeah, Gary Courtley.
Yeah, Courtley's car. Good.
Well, actually,
that's a real good one.
So Simon Ermazidis, privateer.
This is his return drive too. He's been out for a couple of rounds. This is Russell Ingall, meanwhile battling on in 4th position. And if he can't get past Jason Bright, it'll be an unhappy race for Russell, because it will spoil his 19-race-long record for himself of finishing in the top 3, including the Australian Grand Prix support races. For the last 19 races, he has not finished off the podium or outside the top 3. So Russell's got to try and get up there to hold that fantastic run that he's been having. But Jason Bright, being the top Ford runner, he's doing everything he can to stay there. Yeah, but having said that, I think you'll find that Jason wants to get some points. Oh, exactly. So therefore, you know, when he sees Russell, I'm not going to be nice anymore, Ingall. he's going to remember those words and think, right, no more, was it nice? No more Mr. Nice Guy.
No more Mr. Nice Guy, yeah.
So Jason, you know, would probably get out of the way, I should imagine.
You just see that little turnbuckle, that vertical strut in the middle of the Falcon wing. This is the new upgraded wing package for the EL4. They've had some problems with wing breakages, so overnight they've decided as a safety measure to quickly manufacture and distribute these little struts to all the Ford teams, just to make sure that rear wing's not going to fail. You just might see it there. We'll have a look at it on the onboard camera. It's right in the middle of the wing. Have a look in the background, guys, behind these two who's come right up. Jason Bargwanna has put in an excellent effort. He has come from 8th position up into 5th and is right on Russell Ingall. There he is in the background there, the yellow strip across the windscreen of the Valvoline Cummins Commodore, which is very pleasing to see, because in the last few rounds, around the last 4 or 5 rounds, Bargs has, well, not to be too harsh on him, he's left his brains in the pits in the first race, and then he's been fantastic in races 2 and 3. So he has finally put a good race 1 together. I know that team owner Gary Rogers will be pleased with that, so if he can stay where he is, a top 5 finish will be very satisfying. Well, which was that gap between Lowndes and Scaife. Scaife chomped about 4/10 of a second out of Lowndes' lap time that last time around, got it down under 4 seconds, but now it's out to 5.08, so Lowndes has responded to 57.1 to Scaife's 57.4. So Lowndes really controlling this from the front of it, as we've seen so many times in V8 Supercar. Whoa!
Whoa! Locked her up.
Get it back on there. He's going to lose that spot to John Bowe. Bowe comes through on the inside. All the hard work that Garth Tander, no, he's been able to hang on to it. Good work. I was just about to say the hard work, because he's come from 9th up into 7th, and he's dropped it up the inside of Bowe. This is good stuff, and there's Greg Murphy in the VT right behind. So now we've got a 4-way battle courtesy of Garth Tander running off the circuit.
Oh, a bit of damage here too. Look at the front of the VT, all stoved in. He won't like that. Greg driving his brand new Holden at Calder this week into some body damage to the front grille section. So we're right in the thick of this battle. John Bowe, Neil Crompton, Greg Murphy.
Well, Greg will get his leg slapped for that.
It may not have been his fault. 3 laps to run. It's Lowndes, Scaife, Bright, Ingall, Bargwanna, Seaton, Tander, Bowe and Crompton. That's the good battle we got on here. Tander's at the front of this pack. Then you got John Bowe. Have a look at Romano trying to get on the inside of Greg. Yeah, he's not there. I mean, he's a lap down.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, he's trying to make up a lap, but boy, he's doing it pretty aggressively in the inside of Greg Murphy. Full tap there to push his way through. Look at the damage on the front of the VT.
Well, Greg can't afford to argue, because Paul is a lap down, so it doesn't really matter. So Greg hasn't lost a spot, but Paul is trying everything he can. There's Larry Perkins just in the background, not too far behind. Time running out, just a couple of laps left to run.
2 laps remaining for our race leader Lowndes, as he just continues to hold that buffer. There's the damage on the front of the VT Commodore.
That's quite a lot for a nice. That was a lovely, bright, shining, brand new motor car.
But he was just saying after qualifying yesterday how nice it is to get into a brand new race car. It's not too brand new now. To get a top 10 finish though in the very first time out, that's pretty good going.
Yeah, really incredible. I got to say, happy birthday to Mrs. Fred. That's one of Murph's mechanics.
So just that gap.
Be working really hard in the gap.
Time slipping out to the 57-second bracket. There's Larry Perkins in the other brand new VT Commodore, wearing the new Castrol paint job, a variation.
Looks good, doesn't it?
On Larry's existing paint job, but it looks terrific.
So the VT double there, 10 and 11, positions 10 and 11.
It looks really nice from the back, actually. It looks really businesslike.
It's a fabulous looking car, and we can only wait until the new AU model Falcon comes on stream early next year. It'll be 2 fabulous looking machines. Well,
if Mark Scaife continues the good form that he's in at the moment, sitting up there in 2nd spot, he could very well bridge the gap between himself and Larry, because there was only 40-something points as we're on our way home. 1 more lap left to run. Escape should be able to reel in and jump up into the top 3 in terms of the championship, so long as things go as they are.
Well, can you believe the performance of this young man? He's won 10 rounds of 17 shell rounds contested. That was back in 1996, and including this year. That is a phenomenal winning ratio. Now he's going to boost that up.
Oh, Ingle's gone.
Ingle! Goodness me, that's down the end of the main straight. That's down the end of the main straight. He's gone
way off.
Under brakes.
That was out behind the fence.
That was a major late braking move there, I would say.
Oh boy, that's really going to hurt. Wonder where he's going to end up. He was running in 4th position.
Well, with that close bunch, that wasn't too far behind. I'd say he may even be out of the top 10.
Maybe out of the top 10. Oh.
So, Craig Lowndes takes out race 1. Well done to the birthday boy. That's a good way to start his day. And his teammate Mark Scaife will come in for 2nd spot. Well done to Mark also. He had to fight hard to get past Jason Bright and certainly reduce that gap between himself and his teammate. Jason Bright, the top Ford runner home, and congratulations to Jason Bargwanna as well in the top 5 in 4th position. Glenn Seaton in the Ford Credit Falcon got there for 5th. Well, Russell Ingall on the last lap, he certainly will be disappointed with that. As the rest of the guys come on home, here's a replay. This is on board Russell Ingall's Castrol Commodore coming into turn 1 at the end of the main straight. And just kept on going.
No, he's just gone really deep, run out of road.
Just sounds a bit strange there, like he maybe couldn't pick up a gear.
I think the bloke on the trail bike is picking up that
security, the security.
Oh, no, he just locked her up on the back end. Just
Look at
really locked her up.
His teammate Larry Perkins went off there as well.
Well, he's finished 11th. Oh, that's really going to hurt this championship battle.
It did seem as if he tried to change down, missed a gear, and then sort of picked up the gear, and that's maybe why the thing was completely locked up on the rear end. The guy on the bike's
Look how far he went.
He's looking for a gear.
He didn't realise how lucky.
He almost ended up in Keilor.
The security guard on the bike was searching for a gear to get going, I think. As the HRT boys come into the pits, they are successful in the Mobil 1 Commodores. Very good effort by them. Craig Lowndes, Mark Scaife, Jason Bright, Jason Bargwanna and Glenn Seaton through for 5th position. Excellent effort there by the Mobil 1 HRT boys. Garth Tander, congratulations to him. That's his best championship finish in 6th spot. An excellent way to start the day. Bowden and Crompton, we go further back. Toole finished in 13th. Stephen Ellery 14th. That's not too bad. And Tony Longhurst managed to claw his way back. As we have a look at Chris Smurden is our top place privateer, 19th.